Hey there guys, so Marky to put on a patch preview, so let's go over that real quick with you guys. And this patch is going to be a bit bigger as there's going to be a lot of changes. Let's get right into it here. So the first thing, I should probably open this because this is kind of too small for the screen. First thing they're going to go over is the Titanic Hydra nerfs. 80 from the Colossus passive, which is the total HP into 80, went from 1% to 2% bonus HP instead of total HP. This is probably mainly for Urgot and then tanks who are abusing it to do a lot of damage as total HP pools are pretty high. And bonus HP forces you to build more HP to actually get it to do more damage instead of just buying it as a one-off and only with 1 HP item itself. It's kind of weird though because it is only a few select abusers, but I guess in those cases they are too strong, and mainly Urgot I'm looking at more than anyone else. And then they're nerfing Ionian beats Lucidity from the total cost being from 900 to 950. That's okay, it's completely understandable. Super cheap boot, and almost any mage or cooldown person wants to go these. And 150 isn't the biggest discrepancy ever. It's not as big as boots of mobility going up 100 gold, but definitely will be felt. And some people will probably just go into Swifties or save for other defensive boots. And then they're buffing Frozen Heart from 70 armor to 80. Honestly, it might need a little bit more, but that's probably good since some people like Blitzcrank and Nasus really like going it. So it's pretty nice buff here for those people who want CDR but still want heavy armor. Because Frozen Heart at one point used to give a lot more armor, and it not being that much is kind of shitty. Then they're adjusting some items, specifically the enchanter items here, because they don't like how enchanters are very static in what they build, about going moonstone first and then doing other things. So the Starlit Grace heal, which is the heals that come out of moonstones, is a little thing. We went 50 to 100 base on level to 60 flat. And the Starlight Grace passive for each second in combat increases the base heal up to 50% from 12.5, is instead in combat increases heal and shield power by 4% up to 20%. So it's a bit of an easier percentage for people to grasp, but it also does take down the power quite a bit instead of having to ramp up to a huge 50% on 100. So this is going to nerf the item significantly. And they also made the Mythic passive go from 5 ability haste to increase Starlight Grace's heal by 10 as well. So as we all know, Moonstone is pretty damn broken. On the champions who could really use it. If you ever hover over the actual Moonstone item to see how much healing it's doing in the game, it's usually a lot more than the other support's Mythic, if the other support's going, let's say, lock-in and whatnot. So this is a change that honestly needed to happen a lot earlier, and it would have prevented a lot of double Moonstone lane abusing in the early days. But this is also a good idea too, because they don't want Moonstone to be an absolute must-buy instantly. So it's an interesting change. And I kind of wonder if people will start buying other enchanted mythics other than just Moonstone at this point. And then they're also changing Shirley's battle song as well. So they're removing the Inspired, so no longer powers and like 3 damaging abilities or instances, because it could be on autos as well, to deal additional magic damage. Instead, it's get a new passive called Motivate, where in empowering or protecting allies, excluding yourself, grants both allies 25% move speed for over 1.5 seconds. And then the Mythic passive went from 3% move speed to 5 ability haste. This change is really weird because as is now, Shredder's is getting a lot of play. So much play that aside from Blitzcrank and con building in the support lane, mid lane mages were building it as a cheap like alternative. And I think this is a proactive change to stop the Shirley's mid abusing to go from mid lane to other lanes and for it to spiral out of control, since people like TS, Silas, and people who just want crazy haste for a cheap price are really abusing it. This way now, if those mid lane mages want to build it, they can't really proc the passive anymore because there's no inspire anymore. Instead, it's just if you shield someone, you empower them. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting change. I don't know if they'll completely stop them, but it's definitely a weird change, especially when Shirley is getting so much play now. I actually cannot wait for the patch notes to see the little notes to see why they made this change. The Staff of Flowing Water is changed from Rapids gravity and 15% move speed and 20 to 40 ability power for 3 seconds to granted 20 ability haste and 20 to 40 ability power for 4 seconds. Also an interesting change. I think the move speed of Staff is insanely good, and that's why a lot of people build it. So it's weird now that they really want to force it as a AP carry item, because now it might suck for specifically it's gonna really suck for ADCs, but I mean it wasn't meant for ADCs anyways. But I can imagine this goes pretty hard on some mages like Silas, TF, or haste mages like that, even RA as well too. Interesting change. Nonetheless, I'm really like shocked to see why. I don't know why the Staff one's there, to be honest. Tech Stack Rocket Belt, HP from 350 to 250, so lasts 100 HP. And it's flat magic penetration went from 0 to 6. Okay, so less HP, more magic pen. That's actually really nice, so it's a bit more bursty and less tanky. I'm sure people who build Proto Belt would actually prefer the magic pen over the health anyway, since they're usually trying to one-shot people. And then they also changed the fact that the ability power went from 50 to 55. And then now heal or update heals or shields an ally will enhance them with empowered grievous wounds on the next attack. Heals or shields now on an ally excluding self will enhance both the ally and yourself. Wait, did it not do that before? Heals and shields an ally will enhance them with an empowered grievous wound. Oh, okay. I thought it did that before on live. I'm kind of dumb, I guess. I mean, it's good that way, so it gives you both the grievous wound hits. Clarify Ardent Sensor and Staff of Floor and Water tooltips have minor modifications to reflect the requirements of another ally. Functionality is entirely unchanged. Okay, so they're just making it like Staff and Ardent, where if you have Chemtech Putrefier now and you shield or support someone, they'll still get the grievous wounds and so do you. Okay, I was making sure that I was reading that right. It seemed a little weird. I don't know why I had trouble reading that. Oh, so they just buff Chemtank because they just gave it 5 more AP, and then now both of you get the buff like grievous wounds hit. I mean, that's good to me. I already love the item when you can use it. Like if you're Sona or Lulu and you can really use it, it's really nice. Especially people who have AoE like Sona and Seraph, you could just give it to everyone. It's really insane. These are some really big item changes. I would kind of be okay with to see most of these stay on here. I'm not a fan of the Shirelia's one, but the rest of them are really nice changes and kind of make sense. Let's go to the next one here. Oh my god, there is a lot of champ changes to be covered. I'll probably timestamp these down below for people. Champion Nerfs Annie. W mana cost from 70 to 110 to 80 to 120. That's not that bad. She's gaining 10 more mana, max and level 1. She does have a bit of mana issues, but if you farm properly with Q and D ring, it's usually fine. And once you get Lost Trapped, it's not too bad. I believe they said they just want to nerf her because she had a really high consistent win rate all across the board. So it's not the worst thing in the world. That seems fine to me. Thresh E cooldown from 9 seconds to 11 to 9. She's adding 2 seconds to his E base, and when you max in Q too, that's gonna be really rough. That also really enforces that you max E second instead of maxing W second for the shield. This is definitely targeted at pro play since they did that last time with the shield, but this definitely kind of hurts Thresh. Having 2 seconds rank 1 is awful, especially in those clutch situations when it just comes up. Yeah, I don't know if I'll drop him too hard though. I'll just drop him a good probably 2% win rate because Thresh still is really versatile and really nice to have on your team. And then Nara's W movement speed went from 30 to 45, 60, 75% decaying to 20, 40, 60, 80 decaying over 3 seconds based on the R rank. Wait, based on R rank? It's not based on the W's rank anymore? That seems really odd. The W's rank will only give damage down instead of move speed as well. Yeesh, that is I don't know how I feel about that one. That one's crazy. I mean, I guess it's 5 more speed in the late game, but by the time you even get rank 2 ult, you almost have your W max, so you would have already been at the over 40%. It's definitely a huge nerf. It's a really big nerf actually, because the Nar cannot kite anywhere near as hard. Oriana's bonus resistances went from 10 to 30 to 6 to 30. Also pretty big as you do not max E on Oriana until last, sometimes second if you're doing a more of a shieldy build with some enchanter items. So that definitely is going to hurt as well. And I am not surprised. Wow, look at this list of Yorick nerfs. So yeah, Yorick got some changes in the last patch, and I knew they were going to be pretty damn insane. So insane that like they've actually jumped his win rate to an insane amount, like ungodly, and I just knew it was gonna happen when I saw those changes. So let's see what nerfs they have for him here. So entire retaliation attacks Yorick when Mistwalkers attack enemy champions. Attack the offending Mistwalker. Okay, so the towers will not attack the Mistwalker instead of Yorick, so Yorick can't tank on the Mistwalker, just wail on them. The Mistwalker damaging from 2 to 99 base, 30% total AD to 288, 25% total AD, which is actually a pretty big nerf. It doesn't seem like much, it just seems like 11 base and 5% total AD, but that's per Mistwalker per hit, so it's pretty big. Not to mention they get 200% damage when you have the E on them too. So you're losing a big percentage chunk as well. The E Mistwalkers leap once the enemy champions and monsters that are marked, dealing 200%. Oh, now it deals 100% on the first attack. So that they also take down the E bonus damage as well. E added. Merc units take 40% increased damage from the next 8 seconds of the Mistwalkers. Okay. So take 40% increased damage now for the next 8 seconds. So that lowers the burst and it gives them back some more damage overall. Tower retaliation attacks Yorick when the maiden attacks enemy champion. It attacks the maiden now. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. So if maiden ever accidentally hits him or you throw an E trying to dive, maiden's just gonna definitely get clapped. You won't even be able to pull maiden out. Maiden's just gonna die. In a way, these are kind of decent though, because it like allows Yorick to have more diving potential. Because now the maiden will be attacked and the Mistwalkers will be attacked. So Yorick won't be attacked. So Yorick gets to have more diving potential. So if Yorick's ahead and has this Triforce and can really like rush you down with all the speed, this might actually be seen as a decent buff with them. But overall, it is definitely still a nerf. Tower priority. Tower prioritizes attacking the maiden over melee and ranged minions. Tower prioritizes attacking melee and ranged minions over the maiden. Okay. There's a lot of tower stuff and then lowering his total damage. So in a way, he's better in sustained fights and he's better at diving himself than his minions diving for him and him tanking it. Interesting change. It'll definitely take him down a notch, especially having just lowered base damage and not having the 200% damage, so he has less burst trades and better short trades and has better extended trades. I don't think he'll be as OP as he is now. He'll definitely drop back down. Probably under 50 actually. Because not every Yorick is ballsy enough to dive and have Triforce to do good dives like that. And losing the 200% on E is kind of huge. You were able to just throw E at him and the minions would literally just half health him, like just burst him. Make the lane so free. So I think this is definitely a huge nerf. And might see Yorick just go back down to where he was with small buffs. Leblanc is the first champion buff? What the heck? Huh. They're buffing Leblanc. It's been a while. I bet Bob and Q is going to be going off with this one. Q magic damage went from 55, 155 to 65, 165. So 10 base damage rank 1 and that max rank as well. And then Q total magic damage 130, 330 now. Oh yeah, because the Q has 2 parts. The sigil goes on them and then the sigil detonates when you hit them with another ability. So I guess it's like technically 20 damage if you get 2 parts. Okay, that's pretty decent buff. 20 base damage even at rank 1? Hey, you can't go wrong with that. Especially if you max Q. Wow, that's pretty nice actually. Leesin's E cooldown went from 10 to 8. 2 seconds is pretty big, especially on a movement skill or CC skill. That's pretty nice. Probably make Leesin be pretty nice in the meta. Aphelios, oh boy, let's see these 200 years buffs. His passive lethality went from 318 to 3.5 to 21. That's okay, that's like the last one. Everyone maxes out attack damage and attacks with dead lethality. Calibrum's damage per mark, which is the sniper, went from 4100 to 5110, so 10 base damage on marks, not bad. Silverium healing, which is the healing pistol or the red scythe, as some would like to say, with dual wield ability, went from 250 500 to 275 525, not bad once again, pretty good. 25 is pretty massive actually. The R Gravitanium root went from 1.25 to 1.35, which is also pretty nice. I mean, it's 0.10, but hey, anything helps, right? And then the R Inferium splash damage went from 85% to 90. R Crescendia, or Inferium is the flamethrower, by the way, if he is in no, and Gravitanium is the grav gun with the root. Should have pointed that out. And R Crescendium Chakrams generated 4 extra, 5 total, 5 extra, 6 total. So they gave all of his guns R's, just a bit more, like 10, 25, like little amounts. Is that all they gave him? That is all they gave him. He's still probably gonna be a bottom of the barrel ADC. Giving 10 more damage on an ult is like not that crazy, especially when like it's a long ult and not a very impactful one. Passive lethality is nice, but that late in the game 21 lethality is not that great. He's gonna need a lot more than this to get out of the bottom of a barrel ADC. Zach's W went from 2585 with 2% plus 100 AP to 3595, so about 10 base damage rank 1 and rank max rank, and 4 out of every 100 AP percent. Ooh, trying to make AP a viable option on Zach. I mean, the base damage is good, let alone, especially when you spam W a lot, especially when you're ulti picking up blobs. That helps us clear too, so that's actually a really nice change overall. It won't shoot him 3% or anything like that or higher, but It'll definitely help him out, and will be very welcome by Zac lanes, I'm sure, especially those Zac top players. Cassiopeia E mana cost from 50 to 42. Okay, that's pretty nice as well. I believe you do max E second, so it'll definitely be felt. 8 less mana per E, especially when you E so often. Vladimir's Q cooldown went from 9 to 5 to 9 to 4, so max swing goes down 1, and it's the ability you max first. Really good change as well. I don't think it'll help him out that much. I definitely think the biggest changes out of these are the Leesin, the Leblanc, and the Zac one as well. The other ones are nice in the right direction, but won't move the champion that much in priority or win rate. Champion adjustments, Rammus update, C thread. Okay, there'll be a thread after this for the Rammus update. Dr. Mundo, jungle to top. Oh yeah, so they were trying to make adjustments to make certain laners be in their lane while helping others. So in this case, Dr. Mundo's trying to go jungle to top, rumble mid to top, and then doing the second round jungle changes. So for Dr. Mundo, they're making his passive healing go from 1.5% max HP per 5 to 2.5% max HP per 5. His Q minion monster cap damage went from 300, 500 to 100, 500. Wow, that's a lot of damage to be lost. And the Q champion hit cost restores from 50 to 100. Wow. So every time you hit a champ, you get all the health back that you use for your Q. And your E flat bonus it even from 40, 100 to 30 to 90. Huh. I mean, you don't necessarily need cleavers to clear camps fast. You clear camps fast because your E and your W, which I guess is why they lowered the flat bonus AD. And they gave him more sustain, so he's just more of a cleaver throwing machine in lane. It's a really interesting change, because I don't quite understand what's wrong with Mundo and Rumble being in jungle and mid. I guess they just want to reassign them back to top, but I feel like this change doesn't really help him in the top lane a lot. Like, he has bad matchups, and he'll lose those bad matchups even harder than before. And it's very nice to get all your health back on a Q champion hit instead of 50%. But it doesn't mean you're just gonna be better. Like, tough matchups are still tough, easy matchups are still easy. So I'd like to see what happens out of this buff, but maybe I'm wrong. I would hope I'd be wrong, because I like playing Mundo and I like playing him in a jungle. I've actually been playing him recently. But this 2.5% max HP per 5 is very nice as well. So can't wait to see these changes. It's gonna be really hard to guess these changes with like the reassignment lanes and jungle ones. So Rumble from mid to top. Magic resistance went from 32 to 28. Magic resistance per level went from 125 to 0.75. The bonus magic damage on his passive, which is when he's overheated, went from 25 to 110 to 1050 plus 6% of target's maximum health. So better than a tanky opponents, makes sense. New passive, while overheated. Oh wait, this is when he's in the danger zone. Oh, okay, so when he's in the danger zone, he gets 1050 bonus damage plus 6% of target's maximum health instead of the flat 110. So, and then there's a new change for while he's overheated, he gains 50 attack speed as well. And now his R or his E reduces the target's magic resistance by 10% for 4 seconds. Stacks additively. His E danger zone reduces the target's magic resistance by 15% for 4 seconds. Okay. So they dropped his defensiveness against mid lane by dropping the magic resist per level, and dropping his bonus damage from his danger zone, and giving him taking more damage if the target has more maximum health, and give him an attack speed buff on overheat, since he'll be able to actually get overheat hits in the top lane versus the mid lane. That definitely knocks him out of mid, right? There's no way he stays mid. These are actually insane changes to get these laners out of their lanes and back into the intended lanes. But I wonder if this is enough for them to lane top lane. I think the Rumble changes are pretty good, but Mundo's I'm not sure. I definitely want to see notes on why they did these though, and why they did jungle changes. So they did a second round jungle change, if you didn't know, back in their previous patch. They try to make some champions become junglers or just have jungle pressure, so that if someone gets autofill jungle, they can play a lane that they know in the jungle. Interesting change. I don't know why. I get why. Well, I mean, I get why they did it, like for autofill and stuff, but it's just weird. It's really weird. Let's see, for Zed jungle's changes, the passive on target cooldown applied on all units only applies on champions. Okay, so you can hit them multiple times with your passive to clear faster when they're low. Passive removed monster damage bonus of 100%. Okay. Monster damage cap from 200, 500 to 300 at all levels, but applies to epic monsters only. Passive monster damage bonus 175 to 300 on Darius. Oh, that's Darius. Okay, wait. So for Zed, they made it so you could apply his passive hit multiple times now instead of being a cap or a cooldown on per monster. And the cap went to 300 now, but only applies on epics. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is that good. You'd still have a rough time clearing the camp fast. And if you don't clear fast, you're not a very good jungler. Hence why Mundo is a good jungler, because he cleared very fast. And why Hecarim's really good in Graves, because they clear fast. Not clearing fast is a really bad problem to be as a jungler, and if you don't clear fast, you gotta have insane gank like pressure, and I don't know if that's quite Zed. This change looks kind of weird. Let's see, for Darius jungle, his passive monster damage bonus went from 175 to 300%. Okay, so that's his bleeding not dealing 300% instead of 175. That's pretty good. That definitely would help it clear him a lot faster, but once again, I just can't see a lot of these jungle champs becoming like actual meta pick junglers. But Mordekaiser's jungle's passive damage capped at 28, 104 against monsters, capped at 180 against monsters at all levels now. His passive basic attacks and abilities grant stacks and refresh damage to all monsters. See, it's different with Mord and Morgana, because although that Mord change is pretty good, right? Mord and Morgana can both, and Diana, were both all three of them were all junglers before in the past, and have been junglers before because they have decent clear speed and really good gank pressure with Blue Smite into pull, or root, or dash in. So I definitely can see these three becoming junglers over Zed and Darius. It's pretty good for Mord though. That's quite a bit of damage added to him. Morgana jungle, W monster damage bonus went from 150% to 200. That aligns pretty good. I've actually seen a couple Morgana jungles here and there, and they're pretty nuts. Diana jungle, passive damage amplified by 150% against monsters, 300% attack speed, 10 to 40% based on level, 20 to 40%. So when she does her, so when she does her passive now, she gains a crap ton of attack speed. Yeah, I mean 300%. That's pretty nuts, right? You'd clear much faster, and her passive is already AOE. And just like Mord and Morgana, she has really good gank pressure because she can walk in Q, eat them, and then they'll flash. You can eat them again after the flash. You can also have your ult and W. These are good. These three are really good. Darius one's kind of alright, but like these two just aren't very good at gank pressure or clearing, so it's a bit interesting. I definitely think I would see Diana jungle the most out of these. Interesting changes to see them play out. I'm probably gonna try these out myself and see how they work out. And then we have one more thing to go over, right? Yes, the thread. Oh my god, my eyes. Is that it? Yeah, so the Rammus thread. So let's quickly go over this as well. Oh, my eyes. So if you guys didn't know, Rammus is getting an update, and the update's pretty cool. So he's going to be able to just slowly roll into his Powerball, which is awesome. And in his main change or attraction of this update is that he's going to have a new ultimate. His ultimate's this clip playing on screen where you're now able to jump in on people. And I'll have two different versions where if you jump in while using your Powerball, people in the center take more damage, and the Powerball's damage, and even get like slightly knocked up. And if you do it without it, it'll just slow and do damage. And then it has this tremoring after effect in the area. So it's pretty cool. But let's see what they did to change Rammus overall as a whole. So the base damage on Q went from 100 240 to 100 220. That makes sense. Take it down a bit since in the new art, everybody's going to get hit by the Powerball. And it's at max rank, so it's not the worst thing ever. It's only 20 damage. Defensive barcode, basic attacks, extended duration, defensive barcode by 0.4 seconds, up to a maximum of 4 additional seconds. That's a great change, so you can stay tanky longer in fights. And this actually helps his clear speed in the jungle a lot too, since he's going to not only have the defensive stats up for longer, but he's going to have the damage from the defensive stats up longer, and the damage reflection from W. So that's actually a really big change, especially for clearing in the jungle. His E puncturing taunt duration went from 1.25 to 25 max, from 1.2 to 2 seconds max. Okay, once again, I don't expect them to all be buffed since his R is already a big change. Definitely have to take down some damage from him, so it's not like super overpowered. His new R, Soaring Slam. New Rammus leaps into the air and slams down, dealing 100 to 250 base, 0.6 AP magic damage, and slowing enemies for 15, 17.5, and 20% for 1.5 seconds. Rammus generates aftershocks at the target location for 4 seconds, dealing 20, 30, 40, and 0.1 AP magic damage, and stacking the initial slow up to 4 times. Damn, so it stacks the slow? No wonder the slow's at 15, 17, and 20%. Up to 4 times, wow. So if you... And that happens every second, right? Generates an aftershock for location for 4 seconds, dealing damage. Okay. So you can taunt someone, right? And they have to take 2 of the aftershocks. So they automatically get 40% slow. And if they don't have like flash or mobility, they're definitely going to get hit like 2 more times to get an 80 slow. That's crazy strong. Damage near the center is increased up to 150% damage based on the distance traveled. If Soaring Slam is cast while Rammus is in Powerball, enemies near the center are also knocked up and dealt Powerball's collision damage, ending Powerball's effect. Yeah, which is what I was talking about. And then the cooldown is 180, 60 to now 130, 110, 90. Yeah, definitely increase that. The radius 400, knock radius is 200. The dash distance is equal to 130% of Rammus's average move speed over the past 1 second. Okay, that's a good idea. So let him at least roll 1 second before it just instantly increases the move speed. Kind of how Yorick's ult is. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing Rammus for sure. Definitely gonna want to try him out. But these changes are crazy. Taking 20 damage off base and 0.25 seconds off the taunt sucks, but upping the clear speed and how long he can stay tanky, giving him the gap closing and more damage on his ult is like, that's crazy. I'm pretty sure Rammus will definitely become a top tier jungler for low elo and a contested jungler in higher elo. There's no way. Especially upping his clear speed, since that's his biggest problem right now. Is his clear speed isn't that good, and he just makes up with powerful ganks. I really can't wait to see this change. I've actually been a big fan waiting for these changes, as I love playing Rammus, even on the Hextech Rammus skin. So I can't wait to see these. But that is all for the patch preview. A pretty lengthy patch and a meaty one. Definitely with pretty damn good changes, I think so myself. The lacking changes would be probably, I guess, the champion nerfs and buffs. But there's still some decent champs in here that are going to get nerfed and buff as well. Not the best champs, not the ones that one would see. You know, I'm looking at you, Tristana. But this patch is definitely going to change up a lot. Would it be better for the worse or the game? I'm not sure. But the item adjustments are interesting. Some of these champion adjustments are really interesting. It sucks for the people who like playing Duck Doom in their jungle and Rumble mid. And the Rammus one is definitely huge. And this is also the patch where we should be getting Gwen as well. So this is definitely a big patch to watch out for. And if you guys are interested in this, then you should definitely stay tuned for the patch note rundown, since there'll be more in there and the final changes will be there. Anything on here can be changed or delayed, so don't expect everything to go through. Just an idea of what they're thinking of doing soon. But that does it for me, guys. Thanks for coming all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. If you would like the video, it'd really help me out a ton. And comment what you guys think about these changes. And you know, with that, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.